Oh my goodness. Hello, you guys. It is William calling from Movie Blogs. Bernardo.
Hello, William.
We are where?
In Benidorm.
Benidorm, Spain for Benidorm Fest 2023. But last night in Liverpool, something very big happened.
Yes, the allocation draw for the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, the semifinals are now set, and we should talk about it. Are you ready?
Let's do this!
Let's start by just reviewing which countries are in which semi-final. Starting with semi-final number 1. In the first half, we have Croatia, Ireland, Latvia, Malta, Norway, Portugal, and Serbia.
And in the second half, we have Azerbaijan, the Czech Republic, Finland, Israel, Moldova, the Netherlands, Sweden, and Switzerland.
And voting in this first semifinal are France, Germany, and Italy. As you know, the Big Five and the host country, or in this case, the Big Five plus Ukraine, which won the most recent Eurovision, they are split into each semifinal, so they vote in different semis. All right, moving on to semifinal number 2. Competing in the first half will be Armenia, Belgium, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, Greece, Iceland, and Romania.
In the second half of the show, we will have Albania, Australia, Austria, Georgia, Lithuania, Poland, San Marino, and Slovenia.
And voting in this semifinal are Spain, Ukraine, and United Kingdom. So as you guys are well aware, this year there are no juries in the semifinal. So I think that makes this much more interesting because you really can look at historical voting patterns in the televote, neighborly voting, etc. That's going to play out in really interesting ways, I think. Let's talk about semifinal 1 first, Bernardo. What's your general impression?
Ooh, this for me looks like the strongest of the two. It's very difficult to say this without having the songs, but based on historical entries and the songs that the countries have been sending to Eurovision, I think semifinal 1 is looking stronger than semifinal 2. You have like the Nordics are in semifinal 1. This is ridiculous. Sweden, Finland, Norway, all in semifinal 1.
And yeah, there's a lot going on there. I think a lot of the countries in this semifinal, when they're on their A game, they really bring it. You know, Portugal, Serbia, Azerbaijan is hit or miss, but they can be on. Finland is very strong this year. Switzerland's making a huge effort of late. Even if last year they struggled with the televote, they were getting all that jury love, but there are no juries this year. So hopefully this year, maybe this year, they'll be thinking more public instead of more jury.
Well, I think all the countries need to focus on that because if you want to make it to the final, you have to get that televote appeal because the juries just won't be there for the semis. So you really need to push through the semifinals if you want to have a shot at winning the big prize. Yeah,
this is why, like Finland, I keep thinking of Finland. They've got some crazy entries, specifically cha-cha-cha. And in a jury system, that may not do well, but in a televote-only system in the semis, that could absolutely slay.
And to win the prize, you just need to be in the final. So if you get through the final via televote, that's good enough.
And Moldova, think about Moldova. They always or often do very well with the public, but not so well with the juries. And they're here in the second half. You know, it's wild. They will likely have something wild and crazy with the staging. Sunstroke Project is here, for instance. We know they always go kooky.
Yep. And I mean, there's other countries here that statistically haven't been doing well with the public. It's Portugal, for example, my own country. We've been doing a lot better with the juries than with the televote. Malta.
In the first half with Portugal.
And we have Ireland here as well, struggling in the past few years. It's going to be difficult. Also Croatia.
Actually, you know what? We have a lot of underperformers in this first half. Croatia, Ireland, Latvia, Malta. That makes it pretty good for consistent Norway, recently consistent Portugal, and last year's total slay, Serbia.
And the fact that there's only 15 countries in the semifinal means that only 5 countries will miss out in the grand final. It's going to be an interesting one because I think there's a lot of potential here, especially with the songs that were already released. Portugal has 2 or 3 songs that I think have potential to move through. You also have the songs from Sweden coming out for semifinal. There was already the listening party. We're going to get the first songs this weekend. So we're going to have a taste of what can happen really. And in Norway, things are ongoing and it's almost final time.
Yeah, it's probably good. Italy's voting here. Malta, there's a lot of Malta-Italy kind of crossover.
Correct.
So that might help Malta.
France has a lot of Portuguese immigrants. That's going to help us.
Hey, good to know. And Austria is not here. Switzerland, Germany and Switzerland. So there's a little love, a little boost for them. All right, final thought. A lot of people have said that semifinal 1 is significantly stronger than semifinal 2.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. You have a lot of standouts also in semifinal 2, but in terms of like the countries and the type of songs they've been sending, the strong performers are all in the first semifinal.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's move on to semifinal 2. The first half, these countries, I don't want to say it's easy, but let's go through this. Romania has not been consistent in recent years. Iceland
has been hit or miss.
Greece has been good, actually, the past 4 years. Estonia
has been doing well.
Yeah, they often struggle, though. Yeah. And this year's Estilao is not the most epic, to be honest. Denmark
struggling.
A lot of people have said this year's selection is like rice paper.
They will struggle. Well, that's the thing. In this semifinal, maybe they won't struggle, but they've been struggling in the past years, and I don't think the national final this year is stronger. It's not very competitive, no.
Cyprus is an interesting one because they really do consistently bring their A game in recent years. Ever since, even -1 was great. You've got Elena, Eleni, Tamta, etc. Andromache, even if she didn't make it, that was still a great song.
Correct.
Andrew Lambrou, we need to see the song. It could go so many different ways. He in Australia, that performance, Australia decides it was a bit of a mess. However, he clearly has the ambition, the talent to bring something good, and the Cypriot team know how to pair a song with a singer, and so that gives me faith that this will actually be quite a good package. So long story short, Belgium. Now, Belgium's song has been widely panned by a lot of people. I think they will improve on it by the time they get to Liverpool, though.
Do you think it can get the public votes, though?
Yeah, that's the thing. That song has this... It's a very gay song.
Yes.
And I think the semifinals are watched more by diehard fans, of which, there are a lot of LGBT viewers. And they are going to tweak it, obviously. And Nikki Tutorials was like, go more wild, give us something else. So hopefully he does take that advice. He can sing. He's an incredible singer.
He's an incredible singer. What strikes me about that performance, of that specific performance, is that the way he's dressed, speaks louder than the actual performance. So the performance is based on his look rather than what's supposed to be happening. So I focus more on his look than on his voice. He's a great singer. He's a great singer. I'm not the biggest fan of the song. I don't know if it will struggle here, but at least we will have that LGBT spice in the semifinal.
We need that LGBT spice, girl.
Yeah, it's going to be there.
And Armenia is hit or miss as well. Last year, of course, in many ways they won Eurovision 2022 with Rosalind. I just think the staging didn't end up working, basically. I think that song would have slayed harder with intimate staging like she had on the Late Late Show.
With James Corden,
Yeah, that was excellent. But it was an interesting concept they pursued. The fact is, they know how to pick the song, right?
Yes, they do. I hope for this year, they have a great song with Rosalind, but it lacked the immediacy that you kind of need for Eurovision. Yeah. It's a great track. There were a lot of great tracks last year, but some of them lacked the immediacy and therefore didn't get the result maybe they deserved in the grand final. And I think Armenia was one of those countries. And if they want to push through to the grand final, they need that immediacy. They really do.
I've just noticed something. In the first half of this semifinal are both Greece and Cyprus. And in a televote-only system, exchanging 12 points like that, that's a big boost.
Yep.
That's a huge boost.
They do their best. The EU does their best to try and separate Cyprus and Greece. Also, of course, to separate the Nordics because of voting patterns. Yeah. But this year... It was a mess. Like the Nordics are all paired together, and you have Greece and Cyprus in the same semi.
Funny enough, Romania and Moldova are split. They're in different semifinals. Belgium and the Netherlands actually are split. Yeah, okay. All right, well, we continue. Moving on to the second half of this semifinal. Albania, Australia, Austria, Georgia, Lithuania, Poland, San Marino, Slovenia.
Again, a lot of countries with a missing it track at Eurovision.
Yeah.
There's not a single country that I can look at this list and say, well, that's a consistent performer. Maybe Lithuania in the past few years with Monica Liu. I remember 2018 Yeva. So they've been constantly putting out some nice entries, not winning entries, but nice entries.
Yeah, we of course have Albania's entry, which I think before, if this was in semifinal 1, I think Albania's entry would be dead on arrival. However, in this semifinal, Albania might go through. This is very good for them. Australia, yeah, they're generally good. Although this year we don't really know what's happening, do we? Because
they're going internal, right?
Yeah, which to me, what worries me about that is when they had the national selection, they worked with incredible private producers from an outside company. I don't know if in this system where the state broadcaster is choosing internally, they will still use those resources, which were their greatest strength.
Or if they're going in-house.
Yeah, so we will see. I have some tea for you, Bernardo.
Tell me.
So the Austrian song I've already heard. I was on the jury that selected the Austrian song.
Look at you on all those juries.
I know, girl. I gotta keep it secret. I got a little tea house. I'm serving tea like a geisha, but I don't serve it publicly because you can't. Because the moment you
not even with the team. I mean, it's just like secret.
He didn't know I was coming here until they announced it on RTVE. But the moment you spill some tea, you no longer get the tea. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to be careful.
That's true.
But anyways, this song is crazy. The Austrian song is absolutely crazy. And this was consistently at the top of my list. And so I'm positive about their chances, particularly in a televote-only system with these countries. Because it just looks like a weaker semifinal.
It really does. There's no way of sugarcoating it. If you look at past years, you look at display. What I was watching with Louise yesterday, we were at the hotel room, so we were watching the draw as it happened live. And both of us were in bed, and we were like, oh, because we were seeing all these incredible countries being drawn into the first semi, and we almost like the underdogs were all being drawn into the second semi, and it's going to be like, well, that's great, because some of these countries that usually don't have a chance of getting to the final, maybe they will get to the final this year.
I mean, girl, Georgia. Now, I love the Republic of Georgia at Junior Eurovision. Consistently slay. At the adult Eurovision,
they do not slay.
It sometimes feels like they're just showing up, like for the party, like for the trip. I don't know. It's like, it's a weird one because they have so much musical talent. There was a period, you remember they had Sophie Nijaradze, they had Eldrine.
Yes.
They were killing it.
They were killing it.
You know, and then it was like Sophie, Mariko, and the Shin.
But point blank, they have the voice this year. They're not going internal. So they're definitely going to get a good vocalist. If they're going to get a good
Everyone
song.
in that country can sing.
Yep.
That's the thing. So you could take a man off the street, pair him with a woman from the local pub, and they would slay a duet.
That's true.
Instantly. It's about choosing the song. Because like Otto Nimsadze, he could sing. But
he was a great vocalist.
I can't remember the song.
I just remember he was
Tornica.
walking...
Oh, I'm talking about Tornica.
Tornica Kipiani. The one in Lisbon. Was it Lisbon?
So Otto was the one who had the Game of Thrones fire hellscape.
Yes, in Tel Aviv.
Yeah. Great staging. All right, we move on. You've talked about Lithuania. Poland is an interesting one. There was a lot of hype last year with Ochman.
And they are a powerhouse at Junior Eurovision.
Yeah.
But I think they've been hit and miss in trying to translate their Junior Eurovision success into the senior version of the contest.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what else they can do. They're going with their national final again.
I think a televote-only system does help them. Particularly, they have the United Kingdom voting here.
They have they have diaspora.
Massive diaspora. Yeah. They have their neighbors Ukraine voting, and Poland, of course, has been hugely supportive of Ukraine throughout this awful war. And I'm sure there'll be some love there, and rightly so. Lithuania and Poland, did they often exchange votes?
I think so. Yeah, that's the thing. What other country of the region do you have here? Apart, you have Georgia, Lithuania, you have Albania, Romania.
But I think Poland's in a good position.
Poland's in a good position. With a televote-only system, I think it's safe to say they will most likely qualify, unless they send a dire song.
Yeah, and hopefully...
You cannot save it.
They're not going to send the Ride 2.0. They're not. And I loved Rafael Barabozowski. He was amazing. But the song...
I just didn't love the song,
That was not good. All right, San Marino, a.k.a. Ronella's Coronation. I'm hoping, anyways. You just don't know. I mean, they had Sanit and Flo Rida with an epic performance.
They may as well have Electro Lamborghini.
Yeah, why not?
Or Le Representante. That's the thing.
Achille Lauro.
Honestly,
amazing.
They can go, if they're able to get the budget and get people interested, they can go and pick up one of the San Remo rejects and just say,
And
there you go, have it.
Absolutely slay. Absolutely slay. So that's exciting. And Slovenia, who've really struggled, but Joker out look good.
Yep.
Joker out look very, very good. So I think Slovenia will qualify based on this lineup, this semifinal, without even hearing most of the songs. I think they're going through. Yeah. Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Does anything stand out to you about semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 of Eurovision 2023? Let us know here on Wee Wee Blogs.
Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, from Twitter to Instagram and most recently TikTok.
We are here in Benidorm until Sunday.
It's going to be a party.
Yeah, so be sure to follow us on Instagram. Oh, you just said all that.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow us because there's lots of tea coming out of Spain.
Don't forget to subscribe, put the like button and the ring thing, the bell thing, so you can get all the notifications when we publish our next videos.
We'll see you later.
Bye.